Mac, Mac, Mac. You know, you're correct, Ack, Ack, Ack. You're correct in that comment. And I want to reply to you with an answer for that. Ack, 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 ack. That's between me and Ack, Ack, Ack.
You're listening to Goof On Radio with Rich Giordano.
My personal belief is that there is very compelling evidence that we may not be alone.
There has been and is an existing presence, an ET presence. It's not going to make a difference. It's not going to change reality.
I believe, as do the other folks that were on the flight, that when we visually saw it, that it was something not from this world.
Goof On Radio.
Or you were either out, brother.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Goof On Radio with Rich Giordano.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
Goof On Radio.
Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.
You're listening to Goof On Radio with Rich Giordano.
All right. Oh, welcome to Goof On, everybody. I'm Rich Giordano. It is Tuesday, August 3rd, 2021, and I hope you are enjoying your work week as best as you can. It is Tuesday, the Tuesday that has no feel. Tuesday has no feel, but it does tonight, because tonight joining me will be Thomas Fessler, a lifetime experiencer, a live streamer here on YouTube, maybe an influencer of sorts. We're going to find out, why is he on YouTube? What is he doing? Why do I do this? Why do any of us do this? And I don't want to wait anymore. So we're going to bring him in. That's right. No roll call. And here is Mr. Thomas Fessler. Welcome to Goof On, sir.
Hey, how's it going, Rich?
It's going. Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on. And Drew, what brings us to YouTube to talk about UFOs, abductions, all that stuff? It's crazy, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got an echo going here. Let me
figure out what is causing that echo.
I forgot. Yeah, so StreamYard has a glitch.
There we go.
Yeah,
much better.
Thank you. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, but
okay. So again, yeah, what we always dive right into things.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I wanted to ask you, how are you?
Holding up, not so bad. It's
and I'm not saying that I just realized that, we just had a conversation. That's not why I'm bringing it up, just so you know.
Yeah.
That is just me being silly. I really wanted to just be casual for a minute and get into it, but sorry, I didn't. We had a conversation about health and stuff before we started.
Oh yeah,
so I
health
didn't want.
and my mom passing away. It's been one hell of a year so far. I thought we were going to get the big, alien confirmation by the end of July, and I knew something big was going to happen in July, and I said, "Oh, it's going to happen." Nah, I'm going to push it back to August, and the answer came back, "No, July." Of course, July 31st, my mom passes. So, yep, it was July.
Sorry to hear that. Yeah.
It's life.
I know, but still, it's mom.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Is Dad still with us?
Oh no, he went before her, but he's still with me.
Yes, of course. All right, good answer. Yeah. Well, and I was talking about people like us who maybe lifetime experiencers have these podcasts and want to tell people and the truth about everything else we know and the lies that are out there. But yeah, why are you doing this really? What's in it for you?
I started my live stream UAP Disclosure Tonight because I was on another channel before that, and it was just a bunch of douchebags that I was dealing with, and I had to go on my own and be able to get myself out and be able to, start spreading what I, and talking about the stuff the way I needed to. The reason I got involved in ufology and trying to, if you want to call it, be more involved, be a stronger voice in it, was not because I saw it was something hot and a lot of people were talking about and something we're going towards. It was because it was something I was dragged into literally when I was 5 years old back in the suburbs of Chicago. And I got pulled up in a saucer probably for about 3 years. Not a constant time of 3 years, but periods of time over that.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
I didn't know this. Yeah, because I just found you, I don't know, just by YouTube recommending.
Yeah.
That is amazing to me. Okay, so how old were you again when that happened?
I had just turned 5, and it was the summer of 1973. It was about 1:15, 1:20 in the morning, and there's a wind that came out of nowhere, and I had the drapes just kind of freaking flapping on their sides, and I opened my eyes wide awake like I was outside playing at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was just instinctively get to the basement. So I threw back my covers, jumped out of bed, ran downstairs and got down there. And that's kind of where I've got 2 memory streams going. One is initially me just going and sitting on the couch, then sitting over on a chair by the bottom of the stairs. My dad yelling down the stairs, "What the hell are you doing down there? You're making too much noise. Get the hell to bed." But throughout the years, I had a number of flashbacks that came back that kept on giving me more and more glimpses of different parts of the scenario that happened over time, of seeing the light pouring in through the windows, getting that feeling of euphoria that you just kind of throws you into the trance. And even when I'm talking about it now, man, it still raises the hair across my body, just because it's not just the replay of a memory, but there's emotion and there's just this tie back to me that's there. And getting instinctively drawn to go outside and then seeing the concrete and the light reflecting on the dew kind of a thing, and walking across the wet grass, and then seeing a maple tree and seeing how the lighting was reflecting off the dew that was on it and some spider webs, and then getting out in the middle of the front yard, looking up and seeing a fucking saucer over my head.
That's a lot of detail, right?
Yeah, and it was one of those things. The memories came back when different things would trigger it. If I would try and remember and go directly back to the memory, I couldn't get to it. But what I learned over time was it was just a matter of I couldn't get directly to it. But if I could find something that was stored close to it, I could jump into it and get additional details for what was going on. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, getting up in the saucer was initially I've got I'm initially up in there. I'm in some kind of a vertical holding area. I couldn't move, and there was like a red light going down alongside my left side to a degree. Getting taken out of there, going down in the hallway, and there was a round, big area to a degree. There was a table off to the side, probably kind of like that one there. It's got a good meaning to it. And then having 2 grays at my feet, another one at my side, screaming, "Stop, no, it hurts, I want to go home." And then that gray getting into my head again, and then all of a sudden, poof, I'm like looking out a window and I'm getting these words in my head saying, "Look, we've never left. It's okay, you'll be home soon." And then from there, like down on the ground. and then walking back around the front of the house, back in, and then coming in. Then my dad yells at me and saying I'm making too much noise and tells me to go to bed. So it's just kind of that whole loop of going through that.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like, how did you deal with that at such a young age? Do you remember at all what you were thinking?
A lot of nightmares. I always had nightmares that they were coming back and they wanted to take me away, and I couldn't escape, no matter how and I had these recurring dreams, whether it was before I started school, after I started school, and I was in school. They found me wherever I was at, and there was nothing I could ever do to get away from them. And I kind of learned that there wasn't a way to get around them. But until I was 8 years old, and I started going to Silva Mind Control with my mom. And it taught me how to do out-of-body experience, a whole bunch of just different stuff up in the brain that just let me activate a really strong part of my, if you want to call it the crown chakra energy system that's defined well going back in the ancient Vishnuism, Hinduism kind of texts.
That is interesting. You said your mom helped you?
Yeah, she had a bad insomnia at the time. Okay. And she needed someone to go. There was no one available to watch me, so she took me to a bunch of her classes. And when she was laying there and seeing black and not being able to do anything, I was literally lifting up out of my body, flying up and going through doors and into new dimensions and everything else. It was amazing. And then after I learned that, every night was just like a freaking adventure, man. I just love to fly, literally.
And you're positive this wasn't any type of dreams, that you were having at that time?
No, hell no.
Because, I'm not saying nothing happened. I'm just asking. That's all.
Yeah, and it's a fair ask.
Because you were so young.
I know.
Okay, so then something must have happened later on in life. But before we get to later on in life, your mother is interesting to me. Now, she helped you, you said. Get to remember this stuff, right?
Well, it was the lucid dreaming that gave me, it was lucid dreaming. It was out of body. It was all the different stuff in Silva Mind Control that let me gain control of what was going on up in here from a much higher state of mind that helped me deal with a lot of the stuff that was going on. Because I would try and tell people about things, and they'd always say, I'm making things up. Oh, Tommy, you're just making stuff up.
Yeah.
You've got a great imagination. And it's like, no, this is an imagination. I mean, but even back then, after that stuff happened, I swear it changed me from that point going forward. I started having visions of just different things in the future, in the past. I remember sitting there one time drawing a picture of my grandparents, saying, okay, here's a road that they have, and there's going to be cars driving on it. And as they're driving down the road, the cars are going to be charging from the power coming out of the road. And they just talked about that on the radio. Not the radio, on in the news within the last couple of weeks. So it's just, I've seen the world end from many, many different perspectives of the same events. After a while, it just kind of, you deal with it and you just kind of get used to it. So
when you,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, when you say the world ends, are you saying like people end or the actual planet?
Probably more of people.
More of civilization,
civilization going through things. I've seen huge tidal waves. I remember one of my flashbacks. I was walking with my parents down a hallway, like underground, going to the McCormick Place Convention Center in the city of Chicago. I was about 7 years old or so, maybe 8. And as we're going down this hallway and we come out into this open area that had like a half dome kind of almost like a half circle kind of long hallway that we're going down. I had a flashback, and I remember running down a hallway similar to that was different. And when I came out into it, it was a much bigger, grander, huge space, well lit. And if you looked all the way at the end in different places, people were screaming, running in different directions. My mom was pulling me along in tow. We stopped. We ran down to the right for a bit, and then we got to a spot. And then I stopped and I looked back, and I saw at the very end of the tunnel, all I could see was a wall of water coming.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and you saw people running from it.
Yeah, and we went into one of the side compartments.
Yeah.
The big door closed, and all I could hear was people whimpering and crying, and it was dark and scary.
Then you woke up, or
I was awake when that happened.
well,
it was just a flashback where all of a sudden you get all this information and memory that just kind of dumps into you all at once.
I heard that before, several times people say they've had an upload of information, but you seem to be uploading it as memories. I guess, do you think it's time released on purpose and in certain events, certain times in your life?
It could be past lives to a degree.
Oh,
That's what I have to kind of think of, because I have a phenomenal ability with the crown chakra. And I didn't know it was the crown chakra for the majority of my life, not until I was drawing pictures of it in 3D on an Oculus headset and going and putting all the colors and making the globes and everything. And then I took a step back and I looked at it and then looked up some books, and it's like, holy shit, it's the whole chakra system of the energies that you have within your body. And it's the stuff that I've been manipulating for the majority of my life.
When you say manipulating, as how?
Building the energy. Right now, I can go ahead and I can enter a state of deep meditation relatively quickly and easily, where I quiet the mind, enter a state of body, and then I kind of quickly pass through the third eye into the crown chakra, where I build this big blob of bright purple energy that's around me, that I then go ahead and start bringing in energy from the source and doing imaging and other stuff with it.
So back at 5 years old and 6 years old and 7 years old, you were having these visitations. I would assume you were being taken up into the craft. Did you ever find out why
There's something that I have to do, is the feeling I'm supposed to remember. That's the message that I've gone in meditation. I'm trying to figure out why, what is it? And all I can get out of it is, you need to remember. What exactly I need to remember, I don't know, but I know there's something big that I have to do. There's some kind of a process that I have to bring together and help us get to that next state. And that's why I'm doing the show and trying to collaborate and work with as many different people as I can in different areas. And, let's make something happen. It's time for us to have that, if you want to call it that, ET live stream. I just don't want to have pictures released from the federal government. We need to get out there on our cell phone and, let's have a live stream and bring them in real time.
Yeah. That's the only way anybody would be able to prove anything in this day and age. Yeah, no doubt about it. Absolutely. So if maybe this is the calling for you, but would you know it if you got it? What you were supposed to deliver the message. So do you think this is it, or?
It's the right path.
Okay.
And I know it's the right path because I get signs from the other side of the vibrations and the feeling and saying yes. And I know kind of the direction that I'm going towards. And I've learned throughout the years, when I get these pieces of information, I listen to it and I believe it, because it's never been wrong yet. The only time it's been wrong is when I'm second guessed it and I've been wrong and not what it's told me.
It's always the instinct, right?
Yeah.
Usually. Well, did a lot of people to quell their being scared, I guess, while they're being abducted, the aliens sometimes introduce themselves. Did these introduce themselves to you as any type of species or planet, or what their names were?
No, not that I have.
That sucks.
I mean, not that I have a memory of. But the thing is, I have a certain amount of memories, but I have resisted to unlock everything because whatever the frick it was happening on that table that was causing me to scream and cry in pain and saying, no, stop. I want to go home. It hurts. I don't want to know what came before that. And maybe I could go ahead and get it unlocked and everything, but that's something I want to leave back then because it happened back then.
See, that makes me upset to hear that at such a young age you were in that much pain.
Yeah.
Do you, when you're waking up, I know you're awake, but just for the sake of, I guess, being brought back, when you're brought back, are you still in pain?
No, It's only at that one point in time and everything that it's going through. It's so if it's the Cartman procedure or whatever the heck they're doing at the particular time, I'm not sure if they were doing things to change me or add stuff to me or whatever was going on. They've said this is something that happens. It's something that goes in the lines of family where I've got this and probably relatives before me and before me may have had this kind of a thing, but it's just something I don't know.
So you and I are exactly the same age. I was born 68.
Yeah.
And
July 1st.
Yeah, March 10th.
Yeah.
So I saw a UFO when I was 5 years old with my father in New York. Were you on the northeast coast?
I was in the suburbs of Chicago.
So close, yeah. So that whole area. Yeah, it's interesting because in that time frame, there were a lot of sightings.
Yep.
In New York and Canada and all around that
Illinois.
area. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you know, Philly. So makes me wonder, you know, maybe you and I, it's just strange, but in the matrix of the world and the universe, here we are talking to each other and around the same age and time, you know, we're having similar, maybe similar experiences.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
It's just a matter of getting it unlocked, you know?
See, that's what I think we're supposed to do is put all the pieces of the puzzle together as best we can with what we have. And I don't know, man. I think it's interesting that we're both doing it. But it sounds like you're having more of a personal effect and I'm having more of the visual, or did at one point. I don't know anymore. But so you never found out who they were, where they came from. Nothing.
Well, I know there were grays.
Oh, okay. That was going to be
I know there were short little guys. I mean, here's a little joke that I have. I mean, we've got a bunch of little gray guys wearing tight spandex outfits, running around in a flying saucer, doing a bunch of anal probing on people.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, wouldn't it be that way? It wouldn't be what you and I would think. We're humans.
Right. And that's one of the things when I've interviewed Ted Rowe from NARCAP, and he's had several experiences, some really nasty stuff that he's been through, that he's, you know, talked about and everything. Yep. And I really feel for him for the kind of stuff that they go through, but it's just a matter of they're not human. We can't say that everything they're doing is all love and light because they're not freaking human. They come when they want. They do what they want. They take who they want and do whatever they want at that point in time. And there's nothing we can do to stop them.
Are you angry at them?
No, I'm just trying to, you know, I'm angry that a lot of people are either in one camp and saying, oh, it's all love and light and it's all beautiful and everything. And the other people are in the camp saying, oh, it's all a threat. When the thing is, we don't know, and you can't go in one spot or the other. I'm just passionate about it.
So this is interesting to me because I always like to be in the current news and stuff, but you seem to be on the side that they're both they're both mean and they're a threat and nice, right?
Maybe it's stuff we don't understand. Think about it when we're flying a helicopter and we're chasing down a rhino and we're shooting him with tranquilizers and going and doing surgery, putting a tag on him and everything and releasing him out into the public. There's a lot of, not in the public, out into the nature when it's all done. There's a lot of trauma and everything those animals go through getting into it. But look how humans treat every other earthling on this planet. Horribly. You know, look how we treat the planet itself. We're trying to call them a threat because what? They're imposing on us being the threat at this point. So we just can't go ahead and say, you know, like Elizondo and Christopher Mellon and Jeremy Corbell. It's just like you got this trifecta people saying they're a threat. They're a national security threat. They're a threat. And it's just like, come on, guys. You're just trying to do this to freaking stoke up the military machine because we're afraid that our politicians' jobs in Washington, their days might be numbered.
Well, the threat assessment has been around since the early 50s. So it's just now that it's getting this social media exposure, like overexposure. And that's why I think, well, I don't think it worked, to be honest with you, because nobody knows what a UAP is. Nobody cares. And nobody knows anything. They think we're going to war with aliens.
I think they know. You know, it's kind of like they have the information, they have the stuff. They're just keeping the stuff secret and just freaking lying to us and telling people, you didn't see that. That never happened. You're crazy. You've got a mental problem. You need to get committed, and just trying to take legitimate sightings and legitimate things that people have dealt with and try to cover it up. Why? Because they want the technology for war.
Yeah.
That's what I'm upset about.
Yeah. So it's okay that we go to war with ourselves, but not with the aliens. This has nothing to do with aliens, really.
I mean, would you want to go to war with them?
I wouldn't want to go.
They're 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 years more advanced than us in technology. I mean, if you look at the craft they've got now and the properties of what they're observing, they're leveraging the power of a black hole. We're getting gravitational lensing around these crafts, and this is the same thing you're seeing from a black hole observed by the Hubble telescope in deep space, but we're seeing it on crafts in our airspace. We can barely manage nuclear, but we've got a race here that's dealing with stuff on the level of the center of a galaxy, let alone a sun.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess that they could take us out anytime they want. I understand that, but
we have no worry about whether or not they're coming here. They're here. They've been here for a long time. They're on the floors of our ocean and the interior of our Earth. They go into it through the oceans, through volcanoes, anywhere where there's a less than solid surface that they can pass through to get to wherever they're going to, where humans can get to. I would say they probably could have, hundreds of thousands, if not hundreds of millions of ETs and their crafts that have been here for a long time. We want to do something wrong. I mean, there's been an escalation going on. Before we'd have 1 or 2 craft going off at a period of time in the last 8 months, we're seeing 10, 15, 20 at a time popping up over our major metropolitan areas, irrespective of what the military and different things want. And they're saying, hey, get used to us. We're here. And it's almost like they're getting ready for their own disclosure.
And what would that be?
Well, what would it be? Introduction and whatever it is they have to do for us and whatever they have to do for the planet to ensure the long-term survival of the planet. And that involves our nuclear assets. It involves our nuclear weapons. It involves our nuclear power plants. It involves a lot of different stuff. It's all about nuclear, because if we were to have an inundation of the oceans where you get 1,000-foot tall plus tidal waves crashing over all the shores of the world, you've got over 200 nuclear power plants that are going to be completely compromised, including the ones that are interior of the actual countries themselves. Then now you're going to have Fukushima, even worse, you're going to have Chernobyl for all these plants, and you're going to basically take the world when it should be going through a point of rebirth and regeneration and turning it into a nuclear wasteland.
Yeah, for what, 10,000 years or something?
100,000 years, millions of years. Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, they found a nuclear reaction going in somewhere in Africa. I think it was underground. It's been going for millions of years.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they actually found a natural nuclear reactor that's underground. I think it's in Africa or something like this. They found this in the last 6 months or a year.
That sounds familiar. Like,
yeah.
I've heard that before. No, like 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah. Well, I've heard about it in the last 6 months to a year at least.
Okay. Well, this is odd. Yeah. I mean, if that's true, then the Earth can handle it.
Maybe,
right?
But maybe not on the level where we're at. We have this ability for, meditation, for remote viewing, to where we can see things in the future. We can see things in the past. Now, imagine a society or a civilization that not only is like thousands of years advanced or tens of thousands of years advanced on a technological level. Imagine how advanced they are on a consciousness level and what their abilities are for what they have. I mean, they're probably operating outside of our timeline with their craft.
Do we know of any insects or any species on our planet that can talk to itself, to its own species through telepathy? Is there any proof of that? Do you know of?
Not that I'm aware of.
The only reason I'm asking, because I've never been a believer in this telepathy thing. And I don't know why I am not. I just find it, maybe it's the human in me, but I find it very hard to believe. But a lot of people are saying it's true. And you're saying it too. And it's like, well, I just have a hard time with it. Maybe because we can't do it.
Yeah. Or maybe you just need to think that you can. And the only thing that's holding you back from being able to do it is thinking that you can't do it.
Well, I tried to do it for almost a decade, and that was before I even listened to Greer CE5. I was doing it
Yeah.
my own way and never had anything except for maybe dreams and stuff, unless that was it. It's not the kind of experience I thought I was going to have, like conversation wise. So anyway, so if they are of this, if they can think that way, and I mean, they would I can't speak. I can't speak.
Well, look at
I've
the
got
aerial
20
schools.
questions
You
going.
saw that video of the kids in Zimbabwe, right? Who saw the
Yeah.
UFOs,
Right.
the little African girl who actually went and saw the ETs, and they looked into her eyes, and she said she saw they want, the earth is not gonna be able to breathe, or we're cutting down all the trees. We need, she got this emotion, she got these thoughts that came into her.
Right.
That there was no words spoken, but yet she saw and felt these things, and it changed her for the rest of her life. It changed a lot of those kids.
See, that case right there does it for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is proof as far as I'm concerned. They drew the same UFOs. They all said they saw very similar. It was just an amazing experience they had. And there were adults there too to corroborate it.
Yeah, and James Fox actually interviewed some of the people, and they showed him
yeah.
the video of who was it? Skinny Bob, and they're
right.
like, yeah, that's it exactly. So it's kind of, and the pictures they drew look like Skinny Bob to a degree. So it's kind of
something.
Yeah.
And these UFOs were coming out of the forest and disappearing right in front of their eyes. And that to me is a trip. It's like that. Is that holographic technology way back then? I doubt it.
No, it's almost like dimensional technology, or think of like Star Trek, where you can transport from one location next to another. If they have the power of a singularity, which is a black hole, they may have the power to warp in from one place to another place like that. We just don't know. Or if we do know, they're not letting us know.
I'm speaking with Thomas Fessler, an experiencer since 5 years old. And we are not going a full 2 hours. We're doing 90 minutes because you have another engagement, right? What are you doing at the top of next hour? Not
at 7 o'clock Pacific, 10 o'clock Eastern. I've got my regular show, which is UAP Disclosure Tonight. Shameless plug right here. Is going to start up on YouTube, and there's a link down in the description for my channel. Go ahead, subscribe if you could. And we're just going to be, continuing some of the conversations you had the other day with respect to who can we trust? Who should we trust in the ufology? The whole thing with LMHD, and everybody else has just been.
Did you put a D on the end of that?
Yeah, of course.
Lyndon
Who
Moulton
doesn't?
Howdy Doody.
Yeah,
That's unreal. That's getting some legs.
Yeah, it is. I mean, come on. Look at the picture of ET the extraterrestrial. It looks like her when he's in drag. It looks like.
Oh, that's right. Hold on. I think I have that. I've got to show it.
Yeah, you do.
Hold on, it's coming. Man, my computer's working hard today, and I don't understand why. Here it is. All right, I'm bringing over LMHD. Oh, do you hear this?
No.
You didn't hear me just... Okay, that was weird. It was the show replaying itself. All right, here we go. And I forgot to share the screen because I turned it off so we wouldn't echo. There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Poor Linda. She let herself go.
Yeah, but it's the same jewels, the same outfit.
Yeah.
Same hairdo.
Did you see Cambion? Did you see what he did? Stephen Cambion from Truth Seekers on Linda? Hold on, let me pull it up. Is there an... I don't know. Do you hear an echo?
No.
It's working. Let me pull this up. This is going to make... He said I could share this. Hold on. Where to go? I wasn't prepared for this part. This is just on the whim. All right, here we go. Let's see. This is unbelievable. Here we go. I got to bring it over to the screen. Here we go. All right. Here you go.
On a whim kind. There we go.
And I'm Lyndon Moulton Howdy Doody. And this is my pretty pussy.
Yeah, I didn't want to play that part, but I guess I
Isn't
could
my
play it.
pussy pretty? I have the prettiest pussy. Yes, I do. My pussy is awesome. Isn't my pussy awesome?
Hey,
Liar.
man, I forgot how long that
There
P
we
word goes
go.
on.
Oh yeah.
Somebody better get me a new pussy. This is a dead pussy.
Oh
And
my God, and
no,
I fast forward to the anyway, that's
Hey, she's got two pussies. She's got Fluffy in the front and Chocolate in the back. Fluffy needs trim and Chocolate needs a shave.
oh my God. What has happened to oh my God, poor Linda.
Yeah, I did say that, but
now, the spaceship's under the ice in Antarctica.
That just scares me. That look right there is scaring me.
oh yeah,
Oh wait, where'd you go? Here we
I'll
go.
have to decide somewhere.
That scares me. But that is see, I don't mind that in ufology. I don't mind it because it's comedy, but there's a lot of people
Yeah.
who will hate that.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of people who just act like jackasses in this whole thing, so it's just kind of like, you know.
Look at this. Gigi Abby Lynn. Linda has done more work than any of you twats. Like, why are you mad at us? I didn't do it.
No.
I didn't do it. It's comedy.
Yeah, absolutely. You know,
And
but just some
Gigi's here every night. All
but
of a
some of the
sudden-
stuff that's out there is just so far-fetched and so out there, it's just like clickbait material.
Yeah, she's been in trouble for fake stuff and
Yeah.
having what do you call it? Fake informants, and I mean it's just one thing after another. She's just like Greer.
Yeah.
Almost like Greer.
I mean, you
But
got all of them in a row, and aren't they all getting together and going to different UFO conferences all the time? And it's just kind of all of them are just kind of adding one into the other. And what's kind of sad is they've pulled Lou into all this now, which kind of shows where this all comes
Yes.
together.
I can't believe they did. Yes, hold on. Just for Gigi, Linda is great.
Yeah.
I like Linda Moulton. Howdy do.
The work she did on the old days when she was doing this stuff
crop
for
circles, cattle.
cattle mutilations, all that kind of stuff. That was some amazing stuff back in the day. But it's kind of like Greer had some amazing stuff back in the day too. But it's like you can't live with a person who they are today and just idolize them who they used to be.
Yeah,
Because there's a lot of priests like that who should wind up in prison.
But that's a great point, though. It's like in this field, a lot of people are forgiven, or people forget just because they like their stories. They like the way they talk, or it's weird. You could just throw a dart and hit anybody just about in this field. It's pretty weird.
Yeah.
But anyway, so after your younger days, from 5, 7, 8 years old, did you have any? I know you had to have had experiences in your teens, maybe in college. What happened in your?
Well, going back to those days as well.
Yeah.
At around the age of 5, when it started, out of nowhere, I had a horrible autoimmune issue that popped up.
Oh.
And that pinnacled when probably the whole thing stopped when I was about 8 years old. And it was a real shitty situation, if you know what I mean. It was just losing control of everything. And it was just almost like an advanced kind of Crohn's to a degree, where my whole lower intestine was just freaking fighting against me. And whether it was from what was going on or something, it was completely unexplained, but it's something that's been with me ever since.
Do you think it has to do with being taken? Really?
Yeah. It's not in the family. There's nothing genetic that goes along with it. No one else in the family had anything like it to a degree. So it had to be caused by something.
Do you have any kids right now? And if you do, are they having any experiences that you know of?
If they did, I wouldn't know. I haven't been in contact for many, many years.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't mean
Besides
to pry.
losing $1 million to gambling, I lost my daughter as well. And I'm not the one who gambled the money away.
Okay, I'm sorry. Man. I didn't mean to bring it up.
Oh, that's okay. You know, you have to be able to talk about the things in your past because it made you stronger. If all that shit didn't happen, Rich, I wouldn't be talking with you here today. So, you know.
So what do you want to do now with ufology? What would you do to make it a better place?
We need to bring out the truth across the board, because there's too much disinformation. There's too much misinformation coming from within ufology itself. as well as coming from our government to a degree as well. And we just need to be able to come clean on all this stuff. And let's just really go ahead and
How do they come clean if they're lying?
Maybe
how do we stop the government?
The only way that we're going to get we do put the people in office, but we do have this shadow organization that's there that's doing all this, if you want to call it, levels of disinformation, putting stuff out. And I wouldn't doubt that there was a lot of the different parts that are the foundations of ufology, let alone Travis Walton and his potential stories that went on, that are in major question right now. And there's nothing there's a lot of stuff that's out there that may have been put in there to make us feel like, grab it, we're all a bunch of tinfoil hat wearing kooks. But the thing is, we're not. And the people who we should pass this to are the Mick West and everybody else who are going and going in these manners and just trying to throw out the disinformation and get the stuff out there and just try to get their specific agenda, whether it's Greer's agenda or Susan Goff's agenda or Richard Dolan's agenda. There's a bunch of people who have different reasons why they're putting this stuff out. And maybe it's going to take the ETs themselves to be able to come forward and let us know where things are really at, because, the government has been lying to us, for 75 years, if not longer.
Yeah.
And if they have, because they say a couple things, all of a sudden we're supposed to go ahead and believe them. Do you believe them, Rich?
No, God, no. And absolutely nothing, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
They've been caught lying, and we know they're lying. Anything they say, they just chalk it up to another lie. I don't believe anything Lou says. Lou hasn't really brought anything to the field. Have you noticed? All he does is repeat the same things over and over. There's no body of work.
He's brought a lot of information that he's talked around the fringe about. That he kind of leads you to hear some information, but doesn't really open up and say what he can. Now, if he was truly under non-disclosures, right, the levels of stuff that he has disclosed and talked about should be enough to go ahead and throw him in jail, unless what he's talking about,
that's what I thought,
isn't real. But here's the real kicker. Lou's a government contractor right now. He's an employee of the federal government. And the thing is, if he is an employee in that role, and he is, or not an employee, and a contractor of the federal government, and we're going up against the DOD in something, we literally have a virtual catfight going on between the DOD and between some other unknown entity that they're not being honest about. Okay, Lou, who do you work for? What's your role? You're on all these different live streams. You don't get paid for your appearances on it, but someone's paying your salary for all your time. Yeah. What is your job? What's happening? There's a big, aura of mystery around it that, if he was really upfront and clear about it, then we would have a good idea about it. But there's this, layer of mystery that's out there that just seems unnecessary.
I don't know. I
mean, you got
necessary.
You've got Christopher Mellon, who supposedly has all this information, but on his last video that he was on CNN, he's going and saying all these crafts are flying at hundreds of miles per hour. No, Christopher, they're reportedly going at 46,000 miles an hour plus. We've got some people who are watching them in near Earth orbit going at 76,000 miles an hour plus. So how can you take something that's such a basic fact about this and just get it wrong when you're going and talking about it?
Unless he misspoke and meant to say hundreds of thousands of miles an hour. That would be interesting. But
but
it didn't sound like it. Yeah.
No, it didn't. And if you're this knowledgeable and understanding about it, and it's been in your wheelhouse for a while, and you're trying to go ahead and push disclosure forward, then you should be able to talk about this stuff forward and backwards whenever you want.
But they're not pushing disclosure. Lou specifically said, I will not give up national security for disclosure. Never happened.
Now, the Department of Energy, back around 2012, they were saying that UAP, the UFOs, were not a matter of national security. That was our stance back then.
So they flip-flopped.
They flip-flopped. Why? What's the reason?
It seems
what do
like
they know?
It's political. It's all about who's in office, where they can get the money, and how to get it.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Because in 52 or 53, they were saying it was a threat. I mean, there's a whole news conference about it. So, yeah, they've been flip-flopping on that. I think that does have to do with the political issues, which is interesting because what's going to happen now? That preliminary report dropped June 25th.
Oh, what a joke.
And apparently there's supposed to be another drop, the rest of it, 90 days after, which would be around September 20th or so.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know anything about that?
I mean, I've heard a bunch of people going and saying, oh, there's just going to be this other drop and there's all these things that are going to supposedly happen. Nothing has come through yet. It's all just been a bunch of rumors and innuendos about what's going to happen, but there's no clarity about what they're going to talk about. I mean, you've got that one list of 10 or 12 items that came from Richard Dolan that was supposedly from the classified report.
Mm-hmm.
Prove it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, please.
But there's no one else who's been brought that up. But the thing that's interesting is that ever since we had disclosure, the coverage, what people are saying out of Washington, what people are going and saying about it, it's like everyone's been muzzled.
Yeah, it has been quiet. I did
very
say
quiet.
that, yeah.
I was covering the news on my site for a while, and there were just major stories, one after the other about these things coming. And there was so much, if you want to call it hype, and so many people that were really into it and looking for the information and wanting to know more. And all of a sudden it just dries up.
I hate to be the negative Nancy, but it all has to do with advertising and money. Look, that June 25th thing was a very good title to run on CNN. 180 days, only 30 days left, and they kept building that up. Is this going to be disclosure, or is this just another lie? Here's Lou Elizondo, here's Mellon, here's Dolan.
Now, come on, we got a cosmic consciousness thing coming up. Only $249.
Oh my God, I know.
Yeah.
But it breaks down to $50 a day if you buy it and go every day online, mind you.
Yeah,
it's all online, a virtual tour. I can't believe they're charging that much.
I know.
Make it 150 because it's not at the place. But I guess they already signed the contracts.
I forget the name of the platform. It's out of my mind at this point. But there's a 3D platform that they that Mark Sims went and bought. That it looks like it's running on a Nintendo Wii.
Oh no.
Yeah,
he's trying so hard.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he's got some interesting stuff, and he sees some stuff that's there, and he wants to move it along as well. But again, it's bringing in. We got LMHD and everybody else that's going to be at the conference, and it's just it's that same group of people who are going around from one conference to the next to the next.
That's where we're at now. So until September, if that doesn't happen, all we're going to be doing now is going to these conferences online, which is terrible. It's disclosure for dollars, or dollars for disclosure, as Welcome to the Show says, because that's what it is. And it never used to be this way, but nobody wants to go back and do the research. I don't know. They don't want to.
But wasn't there just a conference that was set up by that really reputable guy who's been supposedly convicted in the past for fraud?
Oh,
is it Contact in the Desert, or was it a different one?
I don't remember. You might be right.
I think it was Stevie was just talking about that.
So what happened? They had to cancel?
No, they didn't cancel. Artie, get over here. Sorry, one of the dogs is trying to eat the other dogs. So, I've got to play referee.
Yeah.
It just comes down to we've got some people that have some, and nobody has a clean past.
Oh, Billy Carson's.
Yeah, Billy Carson's, exactly, yeah.
Truth Seeker, thanks.
Yeah. There are some things that were said recently about that, and just kind of calls into question of what's going on, really.
Well, he got in a lot of trouble for fraud, and apparently is still running a fraudulent, a raffle in Florida, and apparently that's only for people who work in oh God, I can't think tonight. Anyway, people who don't make money, it's only for those types of places. I can't talk.
Florida, there's nothing wrong with Florida. I drop things from planes all the time and call it CE5.
Wait a second. Did you just change your picture?
Oh, yeah. I turned into Greedy Greer. Absolutely.
That's
I want your money
amazing.
and I want it now. $3,000 for the weekend. Come on, give me more.
Greedy Greer making an appearance on Goof On?
Oh, yeah.
Wow, that takes a little bit of courage. $300 for the weekend isn't?
No, it's
doesn't sound bad.
$3,000.
Oh, well, that's a lot.
Yeah, and there was a Washington paper that basically tracked it down. There was a flight school who had a flight that was going directly across where the UAPs or UFOs were supposedly going to show up, and they had to go ahead and everybody put down all your equipment and everything that can let you know whether it's real or not. And now we're going to go ahead and see the ETs go ahead and try and communicate with us.
That's unbelievable. Would you do it?
No.
If you had
It
money
didn't
to
happen.
throw?
I mean, yeah, it happened, but is it real? Is the question mark based on the evidence of what people have dug into? It doesn't sound legit.
No, of course not. So I wanted to get back into when you were in your 20s, maybe now 30s. Are you a married guy?
Yeah.
Okay, so you and your partner, are you both experiencing things?
No, right now at this point, no.
No.
I mean, we've seen 2 orange orbs fly over the house, one in November of last year and another one that happened on the night of the 60 Minutes. What do you call it? The 60 Minutes UFO video.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A couple of months ago. Do you have anything on recording? Have you recorded anything?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I've got a video of it. Yeah.
Is there anything you would like to show? I mean, we didn't talk about this at all, but is there something I could show anybody? Or do you not want to do that now?
No, I don't mind. I mean, it's going to be small and stuff. Let me go to my desktop and see if I can find this thing.
Dark Skies wondering if we can get back to asking you about your flying adventures. I don't know what that means. Well. I want to thank those of you who did super chat the show. Hold on, let me pull it up and thank you guys individually while we're looking things up. There we go. So I'd like to thank, where is it? Elena, thank you very much. $10. Mr. DB Cooper, $10 super chat. And Mr. DB Cooper again, $5 super chat. Thank you,
Let
guys.
me just move a bunch of stuff from my desktop and I can probably throw up the video right behind me is the easiest thing to do.
Oh, no. See, I'm sorry. I
No.
figured it was on maybe a YouTube channel.
No, it's not up there yet. I've got one video that I kind of showed in a live stream to a degree, but this is real easy for me to go ahead and bring across.
Oh, I didn't know. Yeah, you don't have to.
No, I'm good at this stuff. Don't worry. This is not a problem for me to go ahead and show here. Fantastic. If I go to OBS and I'm going to move this across and I'm going to take this to window capture. Okay, so this is.
Thank you, Jim Moore. Okay.
Right out in front of my house.
Oh.
And this little dot here that's going across is a bright orange orb that's kind of flying along. Can you see that?
Yeah.
All right. So
looks great.
Coming out of that, if I go ahead and hit the video, it's just kind of going directly across the sky. I'm going to be running down across. Luke's going ahead and videoing this. Let's see if I can just go ahead and play it. Where to go? I tell him to get the camera over here so you can see it a bit better. He runs off to the side, and then it's kind of, come on, bring it over here. And then it's kind of going behind the tree right at this point here. And then it's going to, come on, bring the camera over here. You can see it better because I could see it better in that part of it. And then
it looks like it's near sunset or sunrise.
There we go. It's actually about 9 o'clock at night. I'm really far north. Okay. So there's literally me at this point going and going ahead and telling him where the hell it's at so we could bring the camera over here so we can get the thing going across. The iPhone didn't go ahead and capture it really well. Yeah, it's just a little dot going through the sky and everything like that. but it's something that I clearly saw and dealt with at that point in time, and it's something we've seen over here going twice.
All right. That's cool, man. It just seemed like it was just casually cruising along.
Yeah, it's just they casually cruise along, going from east to west. We've had it kind of directly where it's kind of at this point here going across, and we've had them go directly over the house. There's no noise. They're about 500 or so feet up in the air. It's kind of cool.
Are you familiar with iridium flare satellites?
This wasn't that high.
Yeah, I know, but they look like they're not that high too.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering because it seemed to look like one, but it was pretty bright.
Well, the thing is, the iPhone wasn't going and capturing it that well is the problem. It was actually a nice, decent sized orange, brilliant.
Oh, it was orange.
It was orangish, goldish kind of a color, and there were like lines, if you want to call, coming across from every different direction when I was looking at it.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, it's hard to tell, I guess, when you're using a phone.
Yeah, and it wasn't a what do you call, a Chinese lantern or something to that extent.
Oh, yeah.
And it was completely silent, no noise whatsoever. And I've seen plenty of satellites flying over, and I can tell the difference pretty well. And that was below the ceiling of what we see of most planes that are coming in to land in the area.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, you were there. So you can tell. I can't. That's why video is great.
It's hard, yeah.
It's not perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. So you've seen that a few times. So, you never know if so wait a second now. Now you've got these maybe possibly UFOs above where you are. Are you still having experiences?
The reason is we have 1,100 nuclear warheads that are stored not more than 30 miles away from where I live.
Oh, well, that could play a part.
Yeah. And that's over in Western Washington by me. And then over in Eastern Washington, we have Hanford, which is the nuclear site where they've used to make all the plutonium for all of our weapons.
Okay. Well, unless it was security, some sort of drone.
No.
You didn't hear it. Yeah.
No noise whatsoever, silent, about 500 feet up. I've had it directly overhead and further out. And it's just
that's not that high.
As my late mom would said, Tom, you need to start going out every night, bring out the lawn chairs, sit in the driveway, and just start looking for it every night so you can go ahead and see it again.
Yep. And she's right. And yeah, keep doing it, and then you'll see other stuff too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of course. It's how much time you spend out there, and you got to work. So,
oh yeah,
and family life or life in general, is happening all the time. I know we've got about 20 minutes left, and I'm just saying that just so you know, and everybody else knows.
I'm watching. We're at 57 minutes and 39 seconds in.
Yeah, that was right on. Actually, that's amazing. All right. So are you having any of these experiences now? I know you just told me about, seeing the orange things, but I'm talking.
Yeah. I did do some activist level CE5, but it's not CE5. Yeah. I use a combination of crown chakra, source energy meditation crossed with samadhi, eyes open meditation. And I'm doing really basic 3 words, come here now. But with each word that I'm doing, I'm sending both memory, where I have a visual memory, and emotion for each particular word. And I'm taking my hand and I'm putting it down on a plate in the center of the cul-de-sac. I figure it's big enough. I want a light show. Come on, guys, come and land. I want to get that freaking live stream moment. And putting my hand over the municipal water system that's right below it. It's an access point. So use it as a way to go ahead and, project out more energy and stuff to a degree. And the last time I did it is the last time I've done it, because I'd say half an hour after I did this stuff, I got such a feeling of energy that I get sometimes was different. Like, imagine you're used to plugging with a 9-volt battery, but this felt like I was plugging in with a 220-volt line. Okay. And it was kind of, okay, hello. And it was one image after the other, after the other coming into my mind. But it wasn't just a flat image. It was like holographic images with depth and everything. Of one after the other, after the other, after the other, after all these freaking words that were just kind of flowing through really way too fast for me to deal with.
Did you catch anything that you could share?
Yeah, they don't want our nuclear, flat out. And we need to act.
Saying that forever,
we need
right?
to act as one with them. We need to be one with them and understand and work with them to get to that point of where they want us to be.
Oh my God. Do you know how far away we are from that? How are we going to get all the other countries and all the other people to think this way, think one way? It's not going to happen.
You never know.
Unless unless they prove themselves to the ones that don't want to participate.
Yeah.
Show them
what they need to see. You know, take it out of the secret halls of the government and the different stuff that they've been locking away from us and not showing us. Give it, show us the live bodies. Show us the past. Show us the future if they have it. Make us understand what point we need to get to. I mean, we have all of these ancient pyramids that are on the planet that we have no idea why they were there. Were they energy machines? Were they something that was built to help stabilize the planet as we're going through a series of cataclysms? I mean, we're right at a point now where we've got the North and South Pole, the magnetic poles that are transitioning. They're basically the South Pole has already left Antarctica, and it's moving towards up past towards past Australia,
hundreds of feet.
And you've got the North Pole going down into Siberia, and they're going to come together off to the west coast of where Jakarta is, out in the middle of the Indian Ocean. And would you believe it, at that place in the Indian Ocean, there's giant characters on the seafloor that are about 300 feet in length. And they're perfectly gone and aligned horizontally and vertically.
So it's like a gate?
It's some kind of a message. We just need to get the right people to go ahead and check it out and see what it is. I'm more than happy to share. I mean, I've been sharing this out on Twitter and different places. It's something that has a significance. I mean, it's not just where they're projecting where the poles are going to come together, but there's a freaking message there.
You can share that?
Yeah, of course.
Right now?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then let's see it.
Give me a freaking second here, Rich. I'll be happy to bring that up.
I thought you were
hell no.
Rhetorically speaking.
No, I'm honest on this stuff. I don't bullshit. I know. Like you say, you call it how you see it, right? The bullshit walks. What's the saying? Something talks to a degree, but yeah, I walk the walk and I talk the talk for a reason. And I don't make stuff up. And if I don't understand it and don't know what I'm talking about, I won't. A second here.
So we're just waiting for this information to pop up here. Speaking with Thomas Fessler.
Right, there it is.
Who has a lifetime of experiences in UFO.
India. I need to go to the Cocos Islands. I'm almost there, Rich. Give me a second.
All right. Looking for a message that might be where the North and South poles connect in, what is it? They say 20,000 years?
No, it's probably going to be about 20, 30 years before it happens.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Oh, well, I hope I'm around.
Yeah. Same
and when
here.
they meet, thank you. There's apparently there might be a message down in the Indian Ocean.
It's in the Indian Ocean. That's right. I just need to find one of those days where I'm trying to bring it up and it's just kind of like my mind's, where is this at? Give me a second here.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry to do that to you again.
Don't worry about it. There we go. So there's the Cocos Kneeling Islands. I go directly to the west to that, to the ridge. All right, here we go. Let me share the screen here if you don't mind.
Oh, yeah. Lord Ludacris is asking if this is from Tom DeLonge's idea.
Oh, hell no. It's not from Tom DeLonge.
Tom DeLonge. Man, I haven't used that in weeks. There you go.
I'm seeing your desktop.
I'm so sorry.
There we go. So
Oh,
See this? You've got these different
yeah.
characters that are here that are both aligned horizontally, and you've almost got like lines kind of going across. And the thing is, you have equidistant spacing going between these characters and the alignments and what's happening.
This, I mean, to me, because I'm looking at it the first time without you saying that, I thought it was just cracks in the sea on the
Yeah.
floor. But why aren't they everywhere?
Why aren't there was nowhere else in the world that has anything like this at all?
Oh, well, that's interesting. I did
So,
not
yeah,
know that. Okay.
So it could be, just cracks in the seafloor, but you've got things that actually look like particular characters that are there going along with it, and you've got them along in lines that are kind of going along to a degree, and you've got them on a horizontal and vertical, and you've got it where you've got equidistant spacing between it. And when you have the signs of equidistant spacing and something to that degree, stuff like that doesn't happen usually in nature. And this, just so everyone can see it, this is out in the Indian Ocean. There's Sri Lanka. There's Singapore off to the side.
Yeah.
We've got a ridge that goes along in this spot. And this location is 1,680 feet below water.
Wow. But it's possible that was there. They could have put that there a million years ago.
It could have been there
was no water.
12,000 years there, 20, maybe 60,000 years ago.
That's interesting. I think I've seen that before, but I just didn't remember it. Or maybe I dismissed it as, what are they talking about? That's interesting, because there were some of those markings on there that looked like S's and
yeah. I mean, you've got this one that, you've got like a circular spot with a line going down and two things kind of coming out of it. And it's just, you've got different things, and I'm not going to say it's an M or different pieces, but it's just too aligned. It's too regular. You could call it, if you had one of these in one particular place and it was just in that one place, but when you get something that kind of goes across the lines to that degree, it could be nothing, but if anything, it deserves more investigation.
And what are they calling these?
There's no name for it at this point.
Oh, okay.
This is some place that I was just kind of taken to in my mind, and I just kind of went along with it, and I found it.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's why that person was asking.
Let me stop sharing at this point. Yeah.
That's interesting. So you got these coordinates? Or how'd that work? How'd you get that message?
How did I find where it was at?
Yeah.
Kind of going into the ocean, kind of looking around and kind of getting drawn to that spot and seeing it and saying, holy crap. Then after I saw that, several months later, I saw the particular, some scientific information that basically showed the estimation point of where the North and South Pole are going to come together as the poles are flipping, and that accelerates. And it was pretty much in the same location.
That's pretty amazing if you think about it. And nobody else has found this thing, huh?
No one else has found it yet. I've taken it. I've passed it on to Dr. Carmen Bolter. She's a Egyptologist who's also been involved in researching Atlantis. And she's been researching in that particular part of the world. So I said, check this out. And she's like, well, I'm going to pass this on to my team in Singapore, see what they can find out about it.
And any word back on it?
Nothing yet.
Man, so this is amazing.
Yeah. We've been on this planet for a long time, and just, a disaster happens. How long do you think if we had a major disaster, Rich, and it wiped out all of our technology, and there's a few humans that actually survive? How long would it take us to forget all the information and knowledge we have?
Oh my God.
Not more than a generation or two.
Yeah.
But how many times has that happened in the past?
Yeah, I know. What, 7, 6, 7, 8?
Maybe more.
Maybe more, because 4 billion years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, there were intelligent humans around maybe 1 million years ago. Look, there's aren't there cave paintings, us with dinosaurs?
Yeah.
Something like that, right?
Well, there's a painting of there's some carvings of dinosaurs that are on the walls of Angkor Wat in Cambodia.
So what would that mean?
Angkor Wat's a lot older than we believe.
Oh, okay.
Just like you have all this ancient technology that's in India that they're saying all that's from around, a couple thousand years ago. But you look at the technology and it was put together. That stuff is ancient technology. That's, signs of ancient technology that's from very highly advanced ancient civilizations that have been around. And that's one of the things where I work with Rob Heatherly on my channel. And we're looking at a lot of these ancient sites, these megalithic sites where you have all these different stones that look like they were softened and carved out. And there's ways that we can't even go ahead and do today. And they're saying, oh yeah, they did it with copper chisels and drag the stuff to get to where it needs to go. And it just doesn't line up.
It doesn't look like that either.
No, hell no.
Yeah, what do they call that when they're melted like that?
They're not sure if it was softened or that's from the what do you call it? They're believing that's from the Cyclopean megalithic stage. There was actually there was the first one was the Cyclopean, and then there was the polygonal megalithic, and those are from the polygonal megalithic stage.
It's been seen all over the world, that melting rock thing. Yeah, and it looks like they're melded or whatever you want to call it, molded into the other rocks to fit those unusual angles.
And there's, you couldn't take a credit card and put it between the stuff because it's so well aligned and the stuff comes together. It's beyond any of the technological things we can go ahead and do today. And that's some cool stuff. But the sites that they have in India, and Praveen Mohan has gone to a lot of these different sites and documented a bunch of different stuff. He got the freaking malware virus. And the last video he was on was like 3 or 4 months ago, and his fingernails were white, which means the circulation in his body is totally compromised. I hope he's okay.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh, that poor guy. Jesus.
Yeah, and he's done so much to go ahead and try and bring out and show people all the different stuff that's there, and it survived where in a lot of different areas it didn't. And it's clearly the most, you look at some of this architecture and it looks like, modern, advanced futuristic cities to a degree, but it's all carved out of stone. And
survived all this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the amazing thing. Like Machu Picchu and things like that. It looks like there was some sort of like tidal wave that was cataclysmic. I don't know if I believe it was nuclear explosions or things of that nature. Do you have any take on how do you think those things, like, all those places have been destroyed? Because I think Graham Hancock, is it?
If this is our galaxy, right? The Milky Way. In the center of our galaxy, we have a black hole. That black hole has a galactic magnetic sheet that basically goes out from the center of the galaxy. Our solar system, as it's going around the Milky Way galaxy, basically goes like a, what do you want to call it? Like a carousel horse, where it goes up, actually go this way, up and down through that galactic magnetic sheet. The complete cycle to go from one spot of up, down, and back to that spot is 25,000 years. Every 12,500 years, we're going through it one way or the other.
Yeah.
And we're basically at the 25,000 year mark at this point. That's when shit hits the fan. We've got the poles going through a magnetic change. We have climate change that's going on in every single planet in our solar system, except Mercury, that's been observed. We've got changes going to the signatures of the planets of what they're putting out. In 2000, halfway through 2011, we started hearing these trumpets, coming down from the sky all around the Earth, and it's been increasing as time has been going on. There's all these signs that the Earth is going through this transition, and when we go through this, maybe it's when, we get the sun. There's, it's postulated that the sun goes through a rebirth cycle to a degree, where you get this, if you want to call a major ejection of the outer skin of the sun, kind of goes off in a micronova and goes out, and the planet gets hit through this on a regular cycle and causes the Earth to go through this rebirth cycle. Every star in our immediate part of the Milky Way galaxy, almost every single one except one or two, and our own, have also gone through micronova within the recent past. Our time's coming up.
And so it's possible one of these may happen soon.
Yeah.
It could happen at any time, really, just like Yellowstone. It could all happen at the same time, man.
Yeah.
Seriously,
I mean,
what if the micronova triggers Yellowstone to go off?
it could, but we've had the Earth. We've all known that the Earth's rotation has been slowing down for a long time, right? And that's why we've got leap year and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, yeah.
For the last 5 or 6 years, it's actually been increasing.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I didn't know
So there's
that.
something that's going on that's not only are the poles flipping, but the rotation of the planet is starting to increase at this point.
Huh. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that is interesting.
Oh, heck
And
yeah.
and of course, the moon is also leaving the Earth.
Yeah.
Ever
Whatever
so
the hell the
slowly.
moon is, honestly.
You know, I'm glad you brought that up. I always think the moon is like a spaceship. Like
Looks
in the, don't you?
Yeah, well, what was interesting was when you had the astronauts go and they had one of their landers or one of their pods go ahead and smash into the surface, it rang for hours like a bell.
Yeah, that's right.
So kind of gives you the idea that it might be hollow to a degree. There's a lot of information on it, but it's a lot of stuff we just don't know because, again, they only give us a little bit of what they want us to know.
Yeah, about the moon ringing like a bell. It's possible, and I've just read this a few places, that because there's really no gravity there, very little, no water to slow things down, an atmosphere, all that stuff. Maybe that's why it just kept ringing, but that is so odd.
Yeah, and if you look at any of the impact craters, they're all shallow.
They're all around the same depth. Yeah, that's odd.
Right. It's
like
something we
there's
don't
this-
understand and know.
So and the backside of the moon is almost twice as thick as the side we see. They
I
think
didn't know that.
something- Yeah, it's almost twice as thick because it looks like something may have crashed into it,
Right.
and then broke off and left twice as much. Yeah, it's interesting. How
Well, the
backside-
Mahabharata, the ancient Indian text, talks
Mhm.
about a comet that basically came in and struck the planet and the moon about, was it 3000 BC?
Okay. This would seem much more ancient than that, but
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
just bringing up additional information.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of, stuff that's unanswered about it, and it's interesting information. Maybe when we're going back, we're going to get some additional ideas.
maybe that's why we didn't go back. The reasoning for it was that they lost all of their technology, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's a bunch of bullshit.
I meant to ask you early on, do you have a degree in anything like physics or something like that?
No, I don't.
Okay, just wondering. Yeah, it
I'm
doesn't-
a software developer, software engineer. I'm an enterprise systems architect for a major e-commerce company in the United States, not Amazon. I wouldn't do anything with Bezos. I like my life.
Well, I'm glad. I don't know what to say to that. What is he worth? 800 billion now or something?
Well, he's not the richest man in the world anymore. That was announced yesterday.
Oh wow, who took over?
Oh, some guy who owns some fashion dude.
Really?
Yeah.
We're in the wrong business.
Z Pearl Dragon says the Tic Tacs are ours. Cool thing I have to say, the Tic Tacs, if you look at it, if you look at the maybe ours, maybe not, but it may be the technology that was shared with us. You've heard of the Salvatore Pius, what do you call it, UFO patents that came out in 2017, 2018, Rich?
I remember the name, but I don't remember details.
I mean, he came out with, what was it? How to have superconductivity at room temperature when the best we could do it is negative 495 degrees Fahrenheit. He gave us a gravitational warp field generator. He gave us an ability to have a a fusion reactor the size of a shipping container, and all these different patents and even some of the stuff, he had triangular ships, he had stuff that kind of looked like a Tic Tac to a degree, all part of his patents. And this all came from one guy from the Navy. And they came all at once. And I looked at those and I was like, who in the frick did he work with to give him that information? And what did we have to pay to get it? Because nothing ever comes for free. You know it, Rich. There's always a cost.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
That the Navy, who was always out there and always seeing all these potential craft, made a deal with the devil, per se, the whatever it is, to get this, and we gave them a concession that came out of it.
But we haven't really seen anything that's compelling UFO footage wise.
We've got. Yeah, they haven't released it. I mean, all we have is we have the videos that were photographed from an iPhone 8 like this, an iPhone 8 Plus. They were given to the Snoopy team in the Navy, and this is basically a tactical group that was on the air on the different carriers that would go around when they were dealing with and seeing UAPs, because all the different sensor equipment was all going in other systems. This was an intelligence group that was actually going using the iPhones that were issued to them by the government to go and record all these different sensors that they were seeing with the stuff for things happening in the room. That's why we get all this footage on iPhone 8s, because they were government deployed devices.
I thought it was, okay, so it's the 8, it's not the 6. I thought it was the 6 that people were getting them from.
It was an iPhone 8 Plus. They all had the same freaking device.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so that's amazing in itself. All that
they have the footage. If you want to say they have the bodies, they have the crash material.
Oh, you think they got the bodies?
Oh, hell yeah.
And doing they're dead. There's none alive that we know of.
And if they were alive, I'm sure they've killed them by now, or they made deals to trade them off. I can't imagine what it would be like to be an alien, get crash landing on this planet. Oh, freaking afraid for your life.
I guess. Yeah.
Either that or freaking take yourself off because you know what's going to happen to you otherwise.
Yeah, that's what I find interesting about the Roswell crash, where they found the bodies. They were just laying out. It's like, why would they lay out? Why wouldn't they be inside the craft? Why they weren't seatbelted in?
Imagine you've got a craft that's inside a warp bubble, right?
Okay.
That warp bubble is moving, let's say, 12,000 miles an hour. Something goes on, like potentially they supposedly said there was a new kind of Doppler radar that they had deployed that they were using that particular night, that the crafts weren't prepared for it. So all of a sudden you take out the gravitational warp field generator that's going around it, and the craft and everyone inside of it is stationary, right? All of a sudden that craft and everybody inside of it is now going 12,000 miles per hour and subjected to our gravity, and it goes out of control and just kaboom. They're going to fly everywhere.
Interesting. Yeah, I never even heard it described that way before. That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see that happening. Yeah, as soon as you turn off that bubble, it's a reality you weren't prepared
for.
Yeah.
You've got gravity, everything is there, and hello, you're out of control, and anything your craft hits, you've got that force that's just going to rip it apart.
So I know I've said so like 10 times tonight. I usually don't do that. So you're still having experiences.
Yeah.
And before we go, I don't know, if you've had conversations. Have you had conversations with these things at all? Like,
as far as a two-way conversation,
no.
Have I gotten some information dumped to me? Yeah. Do I have a line where if I want to, I'm advanced enough to where the places that I've gone and the things that I've done, no one's supposed to be able to go there unless you're the level of a Buddha. And I know I'm a Catholic, freaking born and raised from the Midwest, and none of this shit that I have now came from this life. But whoever I was in the past, it's bled through and I have it. If I have a form of caller ID where if they call me, I can call back, whether they like it or not. It's like intercom in the old days.
I have a hard time with psychics, but I think they're interesting. You never know what kind of information you're going to have. You ever talked to one to find anything out?
No, I haven't.
Are you interested in finding that out from a psychic or proclaimed psychic?
Well,
you never know.
I'd like to do it in person.
Yeah.
I like to bring them down. Let's get Ack to come here. Let's get together and let's go ahead and let's have this conversation, and not just have it with me going through here, but let's do a live stream event and have it for everybody, because it's not just mine. it belongs to everybody. And that's how I think about disclosure. It's not for the federal government to control. It's not for anybody to control. It's our human right to be able to know and understand this. And it's going to be up to us to be able to, and maybe the people like me who are experiencers that I can connect with, maybe it's like, remember the old superheroes where you had the Wonder Twins? You had, form of a bucket. Shape of a bucket, form of water. A little monkey takes it and throws it, and Wonder Twins activate, and they throw it, the bucket of water onto the fire to put it out because the Hall of Justice was burning down. Maybe it takes more people who have had this contact. Now they've got proof of people who are experiencers where they can go ahead and look at certain structures in the brain and they can see a different level of brain activity of what's going on, to where usual people have a ability to see so much, but their heightened activity in the areas, it opens the scope of what people are able to see and perceive. And they've got they can physically document it now in an MRI machine.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess one more thing I know. Do you see any alien technology anywhere
that we've got?
Like, I know I didn't word it right. So apparently we have back engineered some stuff to where we've gotten lasers and Kevlar, apparently.
I guess we got fiber optics, we got nitinol and some different materials and different stuff where I could see us getting some things. But if you think about it, if all their craft are controlled from up in here, there are no control panels. There are no things for us to be able to turn things on and turn a key to make it go. We don't have the chops in the minds to get it there. Luis Elizondo had said that we understand we have the math on how this stuff works. We understand it, but we don't have the material science to recreate any of it.
Okay. Well, I believe that. I mean, they are from another planet? No.
Or they could be from here and they could have figured out, hey, every so often the surface of the world gets wiped. We have to go to the only safe place, and that's bottom of the oceans.
That would be the safe place, I would think. Protects you from a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Elements, yeah.
The Three Little Pigs. We're the house of sticks and the house of hay. They've got the house of bricks at the bottom of the ocean. They're safe. Safe
from radiation too, right?
Yeah, and safe from humans.
That's for darn sure. We ran out of time because you do have to get ready for your show. And if you could tell everybody where they could find you, please.
If you go ahead and look down in the description for the chat, or look me up at YouTube, I'm Thomas Fessler. You'll see this great face, blue background that'll be on there. I'd love to have you as a subscriber. We're trying to get to 1,000. We've got like 666 today. It's a magic number.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's scary.
And I really appreciate to have you guys, or anyone who comes from here. I get where Rich is coming from, and we ask the hard questions as well. And we don't take the bullshit either. We call it how we see it, but we come at it from a heavily scientific and informational back end to kind of look at it from what is the real on this? How does this stuff kind of get there, and how can we get it to the next point?
And you seem like you're really enjoying what you're doing too.
Yeah, it's my passion. It's something that I've been, if you want to call it, it's something they set me down in the path when I was 5 years old. So it's someplace I have to be, and it's something I have to do. And the person just like you, who you are on here, this is who I am. I'm not a different ego. I'm not a different person. I don't put on my camera face and everything else. Well, I could, but I don't. That's just for fun and everything. But it's just representing the people who we are, and that's why I've got Rob Heatherly. I've got Greg O'Brien's been on a lot of the shows, and we're just trying to go ahead and we do a lot of viewer call-ins. We try to interact with our audience and bring ask the hard questions.
Well, I appreciate you being yourself, because there's a lot of people out there who put on the voice and the face.
Yeah,
you can't. For me, it's hard to trust them, but that's why I'm saying your show seems. And it is authentic.
Yeah, well, maybe we could get you on sometime.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Of course. Yeah, whenever, man. I would love to do that.
Yeah.
And that's that. Man, that went by really quick. I can't thank you enough. Thomas Fessler, everybody. Go
Thank you so much,
subscribe.
Rich. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. It's been a hard time, but I tell you, this is just, if you want to call it, enlighten a bunch of darkness that I've been going through. And I can't, you know, from a person who's been watching you and a friend and everything. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Rich. You're a great guy.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you for saying that, by the way.
And more importantly, thanks to the audience.
Yeah.
I appreciate everyone who's been there. Coraline, Lisa Marie, Graham McNeil, Stuart Bloodwell, Ivan Burwell. I mean, you're the host of hosts. You really, you know, reach out to the audience ahead of time, do a lot of things. Mystical Dragons, Robin Hood 1966, Star Hunter, Eric 1872, you know, involving the people, calling their name out and hearing the things. And I've been, you know, I'm usually a little bit more involved in the audience going through it though, but Martin R., Lisa Marie, DB Cooper 77, Samantha Morris. I mean, just everyone is just so wonderful. It's a great family. And honestly, I love being on your channel because I can see a lot more things in the chat that I usually can't see when I'm on the camera.
I know. I know. Sometimes I'm afraid to read the chat room. I'm like, what did they just say about me?
Yeah.
No, they're wonderful.
Yeah.
We've said this forever. I remember we couldn't get past 300 subscribers. We were stuck in the threes forever.
Yeah.
And we had the 300 strong, we called it, because you know, they're still here. You know, it's amazing. Yeah, we lost a few, but you know, that happens. But
you just have to be yourself, and don't be afraid if you say something that a couple people are going to walk away, because you'll get more people who want to hear what you got to say.
You can't change who you are. If you do, it's not authentic. It comes
being
across
fake
that way. And yeah, the sad thing is people like that fake stuff too, man. It seems like they like it more than us. And
yeah,
I don't know.
I hear you.
It's the delivery I'm using. I don't know. But
no,
you're doing
a killer job, Rich. Honestly.
Oh, man, I'm killing myself. All right, thank you. I know I'm joking around. I don't do well with compliments, so I appreciate it.
Verklempt.
I am a little verklempt. Linda Richmond.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll go to your channel right after here at the top of the hour. So,
yeah. Anyone who's watching now, stop by the channel. We're starting up in 30 minutes or 29 minutes. But love to have you for the show. It's going to be a blast.
Yep. We'll see you then. Thanks again for coming on.
Thanks, Rich. I appreciate it.
Thomas Fessler, everybody. Thanks.
See ya.
Bye. That was awesome. Unbelievably fast. We almost went 2 hours. An hour and a half went by really quick. It seems like when you go 2 hours, I don't know, it seems longer. I can't talk tonight. I felt sorry. I was talking that so poorly tonight. It's been a interesting day. But there was right. I have to get going. So the show's over. That's right. I was going to show you something, but it'll have to wait till tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow I have Michael Horn who'll be here. He's the Billy Meyer supporter. He's been on the show a few times, and he's coming back, and he wants to discuss these photos that have resurfaced, I guess, from Billy Meyer. So we'll have some fun tomorrow night with Mr. Horn. I'm Rich Giordano. You know, I usually have music, but I'm just all out. I'm out. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. Bye-bye. It's weird without the music, isn't it? All right, here it is. Coming.